On the docket tonight, the case of Nevada versus this woman, Kelsey Turner, former Playboy model, MAXIM model, accused of the murder of a psychiatrist from California. All right, this is one that is getting ready for trial. Ted Rollins has the latest for us.
Renowned psychiatrist Dr. Thomas Burchard had been missing for 3 days when his body was found in the trunk of an abandoned BMW in the desert outside of Las Vegas. Judy Earp, his girlfriend of 17 years, was back at their home in California and sensed the doctor was in trouble.
I told him repeatedly that these are not, the kind of people you want to be associating with.
Judy was worried about this woman, 25-year-old Playboy and MAXIM model Kelsey Turner. Judy says Kelsey was extorting money from Dr. Burchard.
About $300,000 that I know about, and possibly more.
Burchard had a history of helping others and engaging with young, attractive girls he met online, like Kelsey. That's according to his friend, who did not want to be identified when he was interviewed by KSBW.
These women were just like an escape for him to have somewhere to go. He told me he met Kelsey on the website and met up with her, and they talked, and they went and had dinner a few times.
Dr. Burchard's friend says the psychiatrist started spending time and money on Kelsey, even renting this condo in Salinas, California for Kelsey and her mother to live along with Kelsey's child. Even after Dr. Burchard stopped paying the rent and Kelsey moved to Vegas, the two did keep in contact. And shortly before the murder, Kelsey reached out to the doctor, according to his friend.
He says, seems that Kelsey's having some trouble with her boyfriend out there in Vegas. He's hitting her, he's abusing her, and she has no money, nowhere to go. And I feel partly responsible for this.
Court documents show that Kelsey Turner was in fact reported as the victim in a domestic violence case less than a month before the doctor's murder. Dr. Burchard went to Vegas to see Kelsey, calling his girlfriend Judy only after he had arrived, saying he was spending the weekend and would be back on Monday.
I warned him on Saturday when he was there that, maybe you ought not wait till Monday to come home. Maybe you ought to just come home on the next flight.
After missing his flight and not responding to calls and texts, Judy called Las Vegas police. Dr. Burchard's body was found near Lake Mead, about 25 miles outside Vegas.
The actual incident occurred at a residence in the Las Vegas Valley, and then the body was found out by the lake.
This is the Las Vegas home where Kelsey and her boyfriend John Kennison were living and where investigators believe Dr. Burchard was murdered. Kelsey's roommate, Diana Pena, told a grand jury that Kennison attacked Dr. Burchard with a baseball bat and that after the initial attack, Kelsey insisted that her boyfriend knock him out. Pena also testified that the attack left Kennison covered in blood. According to arrest warrants, police recovered a bag from the Rio Hotel. It's where prosecutors say Turner, Kennison, and Pena fled to after the murder. Inside that bag, investigators found sheets of paper ripped from Dr. Burchard's notebook that contained his banking information and passwords.
Additional information has come to light.
Kelsey Turner was arrested in California 3 weeks after police recovered Burchard's body. Her extradition was delayed after it was determined that she was pregnant. She has since given birth to a girl while in custody. Her boyfriend, John Kennison, was arrested a few weeks later in Las Vegas. Both are facing murder charges. Kelsey's roommate, Diana Pena, pleaded guilty to accessory to murder and is expected to testify at their trials.
I know already what her defense is, and I know what they're going to be jumping up and down screaming. Let's bring in our think tank, Jeffrey Wolf. I know where the defense is going already. I haven't heard anything from them, but they're going to say she's the victim. She was a victim of domestic violence. She was scared of her boyfriend. Her boyfriend made her lure the doctor out there. Her boyfriend terrorized her, and she was scared to do anything.
That's exactly what they're going to say, because it's the most plausible explanation for all of this. This relationship it's pretty clear, right? In the days of the internet, well-to-do rich man meets young woman, basically sponsors her by paying her rent and getting favors for it of various types. And they have a falling out. Her boyfriend, who is extremely abusive, then tells her, well, we're going to get some money because you're not making any. So we're going to get this guy out here and we're going to get some money from him. And when he doesn't pay, he kills him. That's the most plausible explanation, other than this woman is evil and decided that this person who had been taking care of her was no longer taking care of her and needed to suffer. Doesn't really explain luring him all the way to Vegas to do it. And so, quite frankly, not only is it the best defense for her, but it's also very likely what happened.
Marie Napoli, do you think she has to testify to get that story in front of the jury?
I wouldn't testify if I was her. I mean, her taking the stand is probably the worst thing that they can do, and bring up everything bad that she's ever done in her life. It's funny. It's such from a man's perspective to assume that's probably what happened. Maybe she's just a really bad person that wanted his money and was angry when her meal ticket decided not to give her anything anymore, and she was the one screaming at her boyfriend to shut him up, to attack him. So I don't know if that's really what happened. I agree that's the tack that they're going to take, but it's funny hearing from a man's perspective that that's probably what happened. I don't think so.
Brian, let's hear from another man. What are your thoughts on this one?
You know, it actually can go both ways, because if you're really getting money from a guy, you want the guy to be alive. So if their plan was to extort money from him, they would have continued to extort money from him. However, their whole self-defense that, oh, he came over here and tried to beat up my boyfriend for abusing me, and my boyfriend defended himself, is out the window because they fled. And of course, fleeing is, shows your guilt. And his bank records and bank papers being ripped out is a problem. How they thought they were going to get money from him, I don't know. It doesn't make it, it's not a smart plan. Of course, it didn't work. That's why they're both in jail. But it can go either way. Is she going to play the victim? Absolutely. Is she going to probably turn state's evidence against her boyfriend? Absolutely. I didn't do it. He abused me. He made me do it. I said, don't do it. And he told me I had to do it. And I just went along with it. I'm a victim. I have domestic violence syndrome. Help me.
Yeah. By the way, folks, this is one that's on the docket on Court TV, trial that we're tracking. Let's take a look at the court schedule coming up on this one. You've got a trial readiness hearing, October 13th coming up. Then flash forward to next year, next summer, calendar call, July 8th, 2021. Jury trial, July 12th, 2021.